Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, the award-winning gardening podcast as voted for by the Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and by my listeners. I hope that you have all clicked that subscribe button. If you're new to the podcast channel, please do click the subscribe button and then you get notified of all the new podcasts that get launched. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, make sure you look for Gardening with Ben and follow me on all my social medias. So sit back, relax, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's gardening podcast with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode for you to listen to today. Well, we've certainly got plenty of episodes coming out at the moment. If you've not caught up on them recently, go back and have a listen and check them all out. And if you're new to this podcast, make sure you click that follow button and subscribe button, and then you'll get notified when we upload new episodes. Trying to do them regularly, but sometimes things get in the way. But for now, there's quite a few episodes coming out. So what are we talking about today? Well, I'm going to be talking about all the things why I enjoy gardening and the benefits that I get from gardening, because there's so many benefits from the allotment and garden. And I'll hold my hands up, I struggle on a regular basis with my mental health. I live on my own, I'm surrounded by myself most of the time. I spend a lot of time on my own and I don't see people, unfortunately, and I struggle with my mental health, and I'll hold my hands up. And over these past few years, I've certainly struggled more and more with it. And at one time, it came to a head, and I really locked myself away from everybody. Sometimes you'll see posts of me smiling on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, but I'm actually not well inside. And sometimes social media can be like that. People think everybody's okay, but really they're not. And sometimes when you message a friend and they say, yeah, I'm okay, and you should reply back saying, are you really okay? And it's good to open up, it's good to talk to one another and let your feelings out, even if you're a man. It's not against anything to tell people how you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And yeah, it's funny really, it's just that sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle with things, and things can get on top of one another, and it can be different situations. It can be social media posts, what people are posting. It could affect your mental health by you thinking that you're not good enough, or everybody's just sharing fantastic stuff, which they do on Instagram. Everybody only shares the good things, they don't share the bad things, and obviously everything's filtered as well. So sometimes that makes you feel down, especially when you're seeing other people's gardens so good and fantastic and stuff like that. And obviously the economical crisis can affect people as well. Over, not recently, but last year, I was in a job which I absolutely adored. It was the best job that I ever had, and the best job that I ever enjoyed, and that was being in the garden centre. It was the best thing that I could ever hoped for. It's everything that I wanted to do, but unfortunately it just didn't pay enough, and that made things worse and put a struggle on me. And living daily life and paying bills and stuff like that, it all got on top of me, and I'm still struggling to catch up a bit nowadays. But yeah, I'm getting there, hopefully, fingers crossed eventually. Hopefully this podcast can take off and make me millions, but one day, maybe. We can only hope, so keep on streaming them. So yeah, things can get on top of us. And what does the garden have to do with helping mental health? And yes, gardening is a challenging thing. It certainly is. Sometimes when I go to the allotment, I don't do anything. I go all the way to the allotment and I don't do anything. I just sit there and relax. It's just an open space that I enjoy and can be in. And Yeah, sometimes I don't post that I've done nothing. I'll just post saying like, look at these flowers and stuff like that. I won't share that I've not done anything, which I should do really. I should be more open and honest with people. But sometimes it's just hard to post that I am struggling that day. And that's why I encourage people to talk to one another. And feel free to send me messages and have a chat. That's what I'm here for. I love chatting to my followers and talking to them. So just send me a message and we'll connect. Especially if you're listening to this podcast and you are struggling, whether you're a woman, whether you're a guy, send me a message. It's always good to chat, and I like to hear from people, especially from this podcast, because I don't know who's listening to it. And that's what gets me sometimes, is that I'm seeing that it's getting 200 to 300 downloads a day, but I just don't know who's listening to it. And I'd love to hear from people that are listening to it. There's so many of you listening to it, so please do send me a message just to say that you've listened to it. It would really help and boost me as well. It knows that I love that it's worthwhile, to be honest. And being at the allotment, it's good to, especially in the winter. The winter is dark, dull, cold, wet, awful, horrible weather. But that is the time when I enjoy being down at the allotment the most, probably, because there's nothing growing. I can do anything that I want. I can do building work, I can do maintenance work, I can get rid of all old rubbish and dig it all over, clear it all, make it look better, and get all them jobs done. The summertime is the hardest part of the allotment. Being down there, watering, weeding, keeping things growing, harvesting it before it gets too big or starts to rot and stuff like that. Summertime is the hardest bit out of the lot. And that's the time when you do struggle getting to the allotment as well as sometimes. Yes, there are longer days, but it's hot and you can't be bothered sometimes to go down. And that's what gets me when I go to the allotment sometimes. I just sit there and just relax and do nothing. So being at the allotment does help because you see the product, what you started, right through to the end. You see it going to fruition and getting your hands mucky, getting in that soil, getting that vitamin D from the sunshine, listening to all the wildlife around you. It all really, really helps. And it certainly helps me. And being at the allotment is somewhere I can just go and switch off from all the world. There's no technology around. Yes, I've got my mobile phone, but I just stick on the radio and listen to music. I don't go on social media much while I'm down there. I just do my Facebook Live once I've got there, and then I just switch off and get that sorted. So basically, that is why I love my allotment and why it does help my mental health. And doing the gardening with Ben has helped me mentally because people are getting so much enjoyment out of it. At first, when I was doing it, I didn't realise how much people get out of my posts and out of the podcasts and out of my videos and stuff like that and going live. The time when I've suddenly realised that people were getting into it and it were helping them was during the first lockdown, because I was going live and a lot of people weren't going out anywhere, they weren't seeing anybody. But to bring a smile to the face, showing them what I was doing at the allotment, and I received some fantastic comments during the first lockdown. And some of the reviews what people have left on this podcast, if you've not left one, let me know what you think of it. Leave a review. You can leave reviews on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. And some of the reviews what people have left for my podcast is fantastic. And like I said, I don't know what people think of these podcasts unless you leave a review or if you message me and something like that. It's good to see, and it all helps as well. I follow a lot of other Facebook pages and groups to do with gardening, and some people say that they get a lot of abuse. People telling them that they're doing stuff wrong and then that it's the wrong way of gardening and stuff like that. But everybody has their own way of doing it. If it's working for you, it's working for you. And don't listen to other people's. Yeah, take advice and tips, but don't let people put you down. And that's the best thing with my gardening page. Nobody gets me down whatsoever. Everybody's so nice. It's such a fantastic community, and that's how I've built it, is that to respect one another and encourage one another in the world of gardening. And yeah, without the followers and without the support, without my allotment, I don't know what I'd do. I'd just sit in my flat all day and do nothing, literally nothing. I'd not see anybody, I'd not talk to anybody and stuff like that. I'd not have a life whatsoever. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for encouraging me for what I do and helping my mental health and being there for me and supporting me. And I really do thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it's been a short podcast today, it's not been a long one, but as always, please do keep supporting me, please do keep listening to these podcasts. Like I said, it does help a lot. And until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. Thank you for listening to today's Gardening with Ben's podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click that subscribe button and feel free to share it as well on your Instagram stories. All you have to do if you're listening on Spotify is click the share button and you can share it straight to your Instagram story for all your followers to listen to and help build my listeners up as well and get more people listening to it. Feel free to check out all my social medias, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Go check it out. Check out my dancing. Gardening with Ben. And check out the link as well in the description of this podcast where you can check out my gardening t-shirt shop where I sell funny t-shirts with all different funny logos and designs on. And feel free to support me by purchasing one, and all the money obviously goes back into my allotment where I can share more gardening tips with you all. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts.